hard eye, the vow of silence. Elias Thorne had 3 years, 7 months, and 4 days of his life surgically excised by Dr. Alistair Keldan. It wasn't a physical theft, but an intellectual one. Keldan, Elias's mentor and the darling of the academic world, had taken Elias's doctoral thesis, a revolutionary framework for sustainable energy distribution, slapped his own name on it, and fabricated a trail of incompetence and financial mismanagement that led to Elias's complete, professional expulsion. Elias vanished, his reputation reduced to a cautionary tale about genius gone sour. He left behind his name, his prospects, and a profound, cold stillness where ambition used to live. He didn't seek bloodshed. Violence was messy, loud, and fleeting. Elias sought erasure. He wanted Keldan to wake up one morning and find that the last decade of his life, the awards, the foundation, the celebrity, had been built on sand, ready to dissolve into nothingness. Elias knew the destruction had to be permanent, self-inflicted, and undeniable. He would not confront Keldan. He would simply remove the floor Keldan stood on. This resolve turned Elias into a ghost.
Part 2. The Chrono-Fidelity Protocol. The next 10 years were a relentless education in digital anonymity and infrastructure exploitation. Elias became a high-end penetration tester for global firms, teaching him the exact vulnerabilities of the systems Keldan relied on: university archives, foundation security, and public records. He became a digital archivist, learning how records were constructed, stored, and, most importantly, how they could be irrevocably altered within a blockchain-like immutable ledger. He lived exclusively in the shadows of the dark web, earning a vast fortune while leaving no traceable footprint. His focus remained laser-sharp, building the perfect mechanism to dismantle Keldan's legacy. He called his creation the Chrono-Fidelity Protocol, CFP. It wasn't a bomb or a virus. It was a truth delivery system designed to surgically replace the lie with the original, time-stamped fact. The target wasn't Keldan's finances, but the integrity of his published work, specifically the foundational paper, the one Keldan had stolen from Elias a decade ago. The opportunity arrived with Keldan's 60th birthday gala, a televised spectacle where he would unveil his new multi-million-dollar foundation. Elias, using the identity of a minor European donor whose background he had fabricated to perfection, watched from the mezzanine balcony, a simple, nondescript tablet resting on the velvet rail. Below, Keldan stood at the podium, basking in the applause of global elite. To the future of innovation, Keldan beamed, raising a crystal glass. And to the decades of hard work that made this all possible. Elias's thumb depressed a single icon on the tablet screen. The CFP worm didn't crash the network, it performed a clean, surgical substitution. It bypassed all firewalls to access the university's permanent, read-only digital research ledger. Then, it initiated its core function, replacing every instance of Keldan's name with Elias Thorne's original authorship data and dating the entry to 4 months before Keldan's falsified submission date. But the real revenge was in the subtlety. The CFP simultaneously released a comprehensive, cross-referenced audit years in the making that showed Keldan's subsequent breakthrough papers were nothing more than incremental, unoriginal, and poorly calculated expansions of Elias's original structure. Keldan hadn't just stolen the start, he had plagiarized every step forward, proving that without Elias's initial insight, Keldan was a fraud. The screens flanking the podium, initially showing celebratory montages, suddenly flickered. They shifted to a live, immutable feed of the university ledger. The bold title of the seminal work, previously attributed to Dr. Alistair Keldan, now read, authored by Elias Thorne 2015. A collective gasp swept through the hall. Keldan's smile evaporated, replaced by a rictus of sheer, catastrophic incomprehension.
His hand, shaking violently, crushed the crystal glass, scattering shards onto the podium. He saw the name Elias Thorne and the decade of stolen glory dissolved in a rush of cold panic. He tried to shout at the technical booth, but the Chrono-Fidelity Protocol had locked the display in a permanent, high-definition loop. Now cycling through the damning audit, the numbers were irrefutable, Keldan's own papers, line by line, demonstrating mathematical dependence on Thorne's original structure. This is a hack, Keldan finally managed, his voice thin and cracking, amplified horribly by the sound system. A fabrication. Security. The cameras, however, were focused on him, capturing the sweat beading on his forehead in the frantic, wide-eyed terror. University officials, recognizing the irreparable damage, rushed to stage not to help him, but to wrestle the microphone away. Keldan was physically dragged, stumbling and pathetic, from the podium while the roar of the crowd shifted from shock to a confused, angry clamor. The applause he had craved only moments before had been replaced by the sound of his reputation being shredded. Elias closed the tablet. His work was done. There was no confrontation, no dramatic announcement. He didn't need the spotlight. The spotlight was now fixed entirely on Keldan's ruin. Elias simply stood, adjusted the lapel of his borrowed tuxedo, and walked slowly toward the exit, blending into the stunned, murmuring crowd. His name had been restored to the record, and Keldan's had been permanently assigned to the footnote of history, thief.